Now, if your system has been operating for a while,
Right.
and you've been a good systems analyst and you've actually been measuring
Yes.
and keeping track of all of your data, there's a really interesting thing that you can do,
Okay.
which is use historical data to figure out where you are now and if that's good or bad or not.
Right.
And this is an example that it's a concept called norming or a norm.
Okay.
So let's say that over the past or this time last year, when you were in sales, you kept track of all of your sales.
Yes.
And you could figure out versus this time last year
Right.
how you were doing.
Yeah.
And why was that important?
Well, I mean, at least in the industry I was in, it was extremely seasonal. And sales in February were really, really different from sales in like June.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, for one thing, it was a way not to like be hard on yourself. But for another reason, it was a time to tell us, oh, during these 3 months, we shouldn't let anyone take vacation or something like that.
Right. And, it's seasonality is one of the big benefits, or correcting for seasonality is one of the benefits of keeping norms.
Okay.
Because, without understanding that business tends to fluctuate based on times of the year.
Right.
In the absolute, it's easy to look at, your sales numbers for June or July. It's like, man, this was really horrible. I'm a horrible salesperson.
Right.
When, if you look at the average sales for all the other salespeople,
Right.
they're down too.
Right.
And if you look at the same time that last year, it was down then too.
Right.
So, there's something else going on in the market. So keeping norms, historical information, can help you correct or identify some seasonality or some trends or, other things that may impact those things. But the other caveat applies is if your measurement changes, your norms are no longer valid. That's the thing. You could compare, your December sales versus December sales last year because you were measuring exactly the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it actually really did throw us off right after the financial crisis because we were in New York City. I mean, tons of our people, either the brides or their fiancés or their families, I mean, tons of people were directly affected by it. And so when our sales went down, like everyone's sales went down after that, it was actually really difficult to measure.
Yeah.
Because people just freaked out for a while. Nobody wanted to spend anything.
And you could figure out that, even it was supposed to be a busy time of the year. So
Right.
there was something that was going on in the marketplace that you needed to figure out or correct for or compensate for. So that's what norms are for. And as long as you're comparing apples to apples and as long as your data is accurate, using historical comparisons on your data can be very useful in figuring out if you're actually improving or not.
Cool.